Thank you for joining us today. We'd like to go ahead and welcome you to our webinar on the Middle Fork of the Salmon, which is an area in Idaho that we're extremely excited to share with you. My name is Christy Hamill. I am the Director of Vertical Operations at Mountain Travel Sobek. And today my colleagues will be joining me, Tyler Schmittel. He is our Operations Supervisor at MT Sobek, as well as our regional guide lead on the Middle Fork, Bridger Bertram. So today, what we're actually going to be doing is talking a little bit about our rafting and our fishing trips on the Middle Fork of the Salmon. We'll discuss in a little bit of detail what it's like to experience in camp as well as on the river. And then we'll finish up with talking about our guides, who actually are the ones that execute our trips and the ones that you'll actually get to spend most time with. So one of the things that make the Middle Fork of the Salmon unique to Mountain Travel Sobek is that we include everything within your trip. So what that means is all you have to do is fly to our host cities, which are either Boise, Idaho, and or Salmon, Idaho, depending on which of the trips it is. And from there, Mountain Travel Sobek will take care of everything. So you don't have to worry about where am I going to park my car, or who's going to pick me up. We will basically take care of you from that point in time. So at this point in time, I think I'll ask Tyler to tell us just a little bit about himself. It's pretty exciting. Both Tyler and Bridger collectively, I believe, if you add all of their experience up, have over 20 years of experience together. But I'll just have Tyler share a little bit about himself, and then he will talk a little bit about our trips today, and then we'll move on to Bridger, who can tell us more about life on the river and camp. Tyler?
Great, thanks a lot, Christy. Yeah, hey everyone. We're really glad that you all could join us today. We really love this part of the country and spending time in this drainage on the Middle Fork of the Salmon. It's a spectacular place, and yeah, I feel really fortunate to have the chance to spend some time in there. Even still, while I have my big kid office job. But yeah, I've been guiding since 2012, river guiding. Been working on the Middle Fork of the Salmon since 2017. Bridger was actually one of the first guides that I worked with on the Middle Fork. And so we've got a long-standing relationship working out there together. And it's just a super special place, and we really love sharing it with people from all over and with different backgrounds, and it's a really cool place. I'll go ahead and talk a little bit about where the Middle Fork is, kind of in the world. The Middle Fork is part of the Columbia River drainage. So you can kind of see down here in the bottom right corner of the map, the red highlight, that's the Middle Fork of the Salmon. So it's a tributary of the main Salmon River. And it kind of starts up there by Stanley, Idaho. And so a lot of our trips are going to start in Boise, and then you fly to Stanley to start the trip. And then some of them you end up flying in about 25 miles downstream, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. But starts up by Stanley, flows about 100 miles down towards the main Salmon there, kind of close to Salmon, Idaho. And then links into the Salmon, flows over into the Snake, and then over to the Columbia. It is in the middle of the Frank Church River of No Return Wilderness, which is the largest wilderness in the lower 48. Really amazing place. It's a place where you can disconnect and disconnect from your devices and work and really connect with the people around you, and without a lot of those distractions. Yeah, I think that kind of gives you a good idea where it kind of starts. You can kind of see Boise down there as well. So keep this little map in your mind as we kind of talk through our trips, and you think about your logistics and getting to our host cities. Go ahead, next slide, Christy.
All right.
So I'll start off with our 100-mile trip, which starts, the put-in is at Boundary Creek, and that's pretty close to Stanley, Idaho. You can go to the next slide here. Here's a little bit about the logistics. So we're flying into Boise, and that's kind of the host city. So all you got to do is get yourself to Boise, and then from there we have a charter flight that flies up to Stanley, and then that's where you'll meet your guides on this trip. And so the guides come meet you, and they help get you to your hotel, get everyone settled in, and then they do a little orientation that first night. And then next morning you drive to the put-in at Boundary Creek. And then we take out a cash bar, shuttle back to Salmon, 8 days, level 2. And then this trip takes place in June and July, which is a great time of year to be out there. These trips, you can go to the next slide. This picture is a pretty good just view of what the river looks like, kind of mid-July. Really good, just water flows. The water goes downstream the whole time. We got current the whole time. The earlier June trips are generally like a little more high adventure. They're going to be higher water, probably a little colder weather. You know, just more exciting. And yeah, but once you kind of get towards the end of June and into July, that's what we like to call like the prime season. And that's just beautiful, perfect water levels. The weather starts warming up and it's beautiful out there. Great weather, great water levels, splashy, fun river. Yeah, all the good stuff. And if you want to kind of talk about just like the way we gauge the river, we always talk about it in feet. And so we generally, those trips are going to be between like 2.5 feet to 4 feet. And that's just kind of like the prime river levels in there. And then the later trips are going to be a little lower than that. And here's just some nice pictures of that time of year. Beautiful. You got the sun out there. Here's a picture of Hayden pouring up some wine to a guest out there at a camp. Really nice time of year to be out there. So yeah, I'm going to transition into the 75-mile trip here. So the 75-mile trip generally takes place later in the summer. Let's go to the next slide here, Christy. So this trip actually starts in Salmon, Idaho. So if you think back to that map before, it's kind of a little closer to the takeout. We start in Salmon and then we fly into the Middle Fork, into a backcountry airstrip. And the reason we don't do the top 25 miles of the river is because this time of year, the river usually drops pretty low, and that upper section of the river can be really challenging. And so basically the guides go in there the day before and they spend all day trying to get their boat down to Indian Creek to meet the guests. And they're dragging their boat over rocks, they're getting stuck, they're getting out in the river, pulling and tugging on the rafts. And so it's not a great guest experience, the top 25 miles that time of year. So we just fly in and you get to do the rest of the trip. And it's the same length, or it's the same length in days, but it's just a better experience to do it this way that time of year. So flying to Indian Creek, we're going to take out at the same place a cash bar, then shuttle everyone back to Salmon. And these trips are July 24th launch and then all through August. You can go to the next slide. So this trip's pretty unique because we get to fly on these little planes into a backcountry airstrip, which is really exciting. If anyone's ever flown in a backcountry plane, smaller plane, super cool. You get to fly through the Frank Church, fly over all these big mountains down here, like this lower picture. There's some cool alpine lakes up there, depending on the route that the pilot likes to take and the weather that day. And there's two different kinds of planes that we generally fly in. There's the two pictures up top here. The one on the left is Islander, and those will seat 7 people with the pilot. Then the one on the right is a Caravan, and those seat 9 guests and 1 pilot. So that's kind of the two different kind of aircraft we fly into there. Really safe. The airstrip back there is super long and it's flat and it's smooth. They take really good care of it. And so they have amazing experienced pilots. They're super experienced in mountain flying. And yeah, it's just a really cool experience getting to fly in on those trips.
Tyler, are these the type of aircraft that we fly from Boise as well?
Usually we'll take a caravan from Boise. The one on the right, they're the little bigger. And sometimes Islander, but generally it's a caravan coming in. And if it's a really small trip, they might fly a 206, which is a little smaller plane, but that's just for like cost savings on the pilot side. And yeah, you can go to the next slide there. Here's just some nice pictures of a little later in the season here. This time of year is great for fly fishing. So if you're interested in the fly fishing aspect, the water gets super crystal clear and the fish kind of gather up in pools. This upper right section is one of the main tributaries that comes into the Middle Fork here. That's Loon Creek, and there's tons of fish just stack up right there in Loon Creek. Nice cold water coming out. This is the picture to the right of that is just a nice hike out there that time of year. Got some nice sagebrush, ponderosa pines. Great hot spring in, and then this bottom right picture is really cool. This is a rock called clamshell rock, and when it's high water, the water's almost up to where the top of that picture is. And so when it gets a little lower, the rapids kind of get pool droppy. So basically there's a rapid into a nice pool. So it's great for like families, great for younger kids and older folks. And, you know, it's just a really nice time of year to be out there and spend time with your friends and family. And yeah, you can go ahead to the next slide there, Christy. Here's just some more really nice pictures from that time of year. You know, you can see a lot of kiddos out there. The trips with the kids are super fun. They bring a lot of really cool energy. They're just really excited to be out there. I feel like usually the first couple days, they're kind of like, oh, I want my iPad. But once they kind of get settled into the trip, they really open up and start exploring and picking up rocks and getting creative and playing games. And yeah, really cool.
Awesome. Looks like a lot of fun. Is there a reason that some have helmets on and others don't?
Yeah, some of the folks are wearing helmets. You can see this top right picture here. These guys got paddles. And so they're going to be paddle boating, or if you're in a inflatable kayak, we require helmets on those rafts just because they're a little more high adventure. But we'll talk a little bit more about those rafts in a little bit. And then the last trip that I want to highlight here that we got going this year is the fly fishing departure. So that's September 26th through October 2nd. Really cool time of year to be out on the Middle Fork. There's hardly anybody out there that time of year. Almost no private trips going out. It's rare to see folks out there. But this is an amazing time of year to be out there fly fishing. The water's dropped down. It's kind of like at the lowest level it's going to get for the season. A lot of the river's spring fed, so it doesn't just dry out. So you got a lot of these fish just hanging out in that nice cold spring water. The water temperature usually gets a little colder that time of year too, which is great for the fish. And it's fly fishing specific. And so that means we're going to be basically on a raft fishing off the front and the back, and 2 guests to 1 guide ratio on the boats. And it's going to be very fly fishing heavy. But obviously we can kind of accommodate what people are looking for on that trip. If they don't want to fish for a day, we can go take them on a cool hike or something. But yeah, that one's a day shorter on the river, level 2 in September. Go ahead to the next slide. This one has a little different logistics. So this trip also starts in Salmon, Idaho, which is right up here in the right corner. And we fly into Thomas Creek, which is another backcountry airstrip along the Middle Fork. And then we do about 30 miles on the river. And then we fly back out from the Flying Bee Ranch. So you get the double backcountry flying experience along with 30 miles on the river. And this section of the river was chosen for its spectacular fish habitat. It's amazing fly fishing in this stretch. And since we're only doing about 30 miles, that gives us a lot of time throughout the day to really focus on fishing. Yeah, and we take out the Flying Bee, which is a cool historic ranch out there. Another cool thing about this time of year and the fishing out there is the fish are queuing in on terrestrials. So that's going to be like grasshoppers and beetles, and those flies in general are a lot easier to fly fish with than other like small little parachute atoms and stuff like that that are hard to see. They queue in on these big grasshoppers that float, so you can chuck your fly out there, easy to see, floating down, easy to get a good drift, and the fish just love these things and they go wild for them. So almost all dry fly fishing, which is a huge draw for fishermen, and yeah, really cool. And there's some sizable fish out there too, as you can see in some of these pics.
So the fish that are out there that we're catching, are we able to have those for dinner?
No, so that's one of the reasons why this river is so spectacular for fly fishing, is because it's catch and release only, and it's barbless single hook. And so there's tons of these fish out there and they're really well taken care of. So all the fish that we catch, we can get a quick little picture with them and throw them back in the river. Yeah.
Leaving for somebody else, huh?
Leaving for somebody else, and it's cool just to get to spend a little time with them out there. So, yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Tyler. That was amazing. Now we'd like to kind of move on to what am I going to experience in camp? What am I going to experience on the river? And for that, I would actually like to introduce Bridger at this point in time. And Bridger, maybe you could tell us just a little bit about yourself, please.
Sure. So yeah, my name's Bridger. I grew up in Salmon, Idaho. So that's one of the host cities. So I grew up close to this river. I think I did my first trip on the Middle Fork when I was 11 years old. So this place has always been very special to me. And yeah, I've been commercially guiding out there since 2016. So I'm coming up on my 10th season now. So yeah, I'm excited to share a little bit about what it's like to be out there. And yeah, so one of the things that makes the Middle Fork really special and makes these trips really nice is that when everybody gets to camp, camp will be totally set up for you. So we're going to move downstream and we're going to be staying at a different camp every night. But two guides go in front of the trip and they set up camp for when you get there. So if you look at this picture on the left here, you can see the large gear boat is in the picture. We call that the sweep boat, and everything is set up. The tents are all set up, kitchen's all set up, dining table, chairs, the fire pan is all ready to go when you get there. So once you get to camp, really the only thing you need to do is choose a tent that seems nice and get out of your wet river clothes and into some comfy camp clothes and relax for the evening.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What is that? What is that big green boat there?
Yeah, so that is our big gear boat. We call it the sweep boat. It's very unique to the Middle Fork of the Salmon. The hydrology of the river just really lends itself for us to be able to use it. Because these big boats, you can't row it downstream. So it relies fully on the current of the river to get downstream. And that's unique to the Middle Fork. We have pretty much constant gradient the whole way. So there's nice current the whole time. And yeah, and this is kind of a shot from the inside of the sweep boat when it's moving downstream. As you can see, it's full of bags and full of camping gear. And this picture is kind of taken from the point of view of the sweep boat driver. So you stand in the middle of the boat and you have two big long arms that go out the front and the back that you use to steer. So yeah, that's something that you probably won't see on any other river trip. So we're proud of it and we love to do it, and it's honestly really fun to drive it. So yeah, we're lucky in that way that we get to use these boats. Yeah, I think we can go to the next slide. So here's kind of what some of our camping equipment looks like. So in the upper right, you can see a picture of a tent there. We always try, the guides who go down in front of the trip, we try to pick the nicest tent sites that camp has available. We try to really hard to make each tent site sort of private and nice and have a pretty view and everything. And then once you get to camp, you'll see that your tent will also have a cot and a sleeping pad in there. And that's all MT Sobek provided. We also provide sleeping bags and pillows. So all of your sort of sleeping equipment is provided for you. That's all taken care of. Really, the only thing you need to show up with is your personal clothing. So, yeah. Great. So here's some shots of camp here. This picture on the left, that's our dining table. So we serve breakfast and dinner at the dining table, so you have a nice place to eat. And it also kind of serves as like a center point of camp. It's often people are hanging out around the dining table in the evenings or before dinner and chit-chatting, having a drink, playing cards, that kind of a thing. And then this picture bottom right here, that's our fire pan setup. So another great thing about the Middle Fork is everything is leave no trace. So we bring our own fireplace and we take it with us downstream. So that's kind of the picture of the fireplace that we bring. And we also do most of our cooking with the fire, which is really fun for us. And it also kind of serves as another sort of centerpiece of camp, a place where people like to gather and hang out, particularly in the mornings when it's chilly. People are often kind of sitting around the campfire in the morning, drinking their coffee, chatting with the guides while they're making breakfast, that sort of thing. Yeah, and then top right here, this is sort of our kind of appetizer table slash coffee bar table in the mornings. So a lot of times when we get to camp, we'll just throw some snacks out there. We always have our fresh drinking water up on the table, so people can kind of use that table to, do what they need. And then in the mornings, we also set up our coffee bar there. So we'll have hot coffee and hot water for tea every morning with all the fixings that we, cream and sugar, all that stuff. Yeah, and then you can also see in that, if you want to go back just for a second.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, it's okay. We bring some games and stuff. We always have like bocce ball, a horseshoe set. We bring frisbees, that sort of stuff. There's a lot of, at least a few nights of the trip, we have kind of a lot of time in camp in the evening, so it's nice to have some light activities to do while we're hanging. Yeah, I think next slide. Yeah, so here's some of the food that we serve. Cooking is, or the food is kind of a big part of the trip. I think that people are often really surprised about the quality of food that we have out there, and yeah, it's always a nice bonus. And we try really hard and put a lot of effort into the food. So yeah, and it comes out really well.
Are those pork chops?
Yep, yeah, we do chops on the fourth night of the trip. So yeah, every morning we'll have a big breakfast, and we always have fresh fruits. We always throw out a little yogurt and granola if people want a lighter option. The picture sort of in the bottom, in the middle is we do eggs Benedict on the fourth morning. So it's an example of one of the breakfasts that we do. And then lunches are a little bit different. We have lunch while we're on the river. So we'll get out on the river, float for a couple hours, and then we pull over and do lunch. And lunches are a little lighter. We do like sandwiches. We do salads a couple of the days. And then we always have a ton of snacks, like more snacks than we could ever eat. So
never go hungry.
Yes. You will not be hungry on this trip at any point. No. And then, yeah, for dinners, we do like a veggie option, a big protein, and like a starch or a carbohydrate is kind of hit those on for dinners. And then our menu has also been designed to be able to accommodate any sort of dietary restrictions. So that's never a problem on the trips. And yeah, you just have to let us know. And then when we're doing the shopping and all of that, we just get some different options for you. So yeah, I think next slide. So moving away from sort of camp stuff and talking about what the days on the river are going to be like. So every day is a little bit different on the Middle Fork, and there's usually some really cool activities that we get to do. And I think one of the things that I really try to do when I'm leading a Middle Fork trip is sort of tailor the experience to what the group seems the most interested in doing. So there's never really like a hard set itinerary. Every day is different, and every day can be adjusted to what people are the most excited about.
Mm-hmm.
One of the really cool things about the Middle Fork is that we have several hot springs along the river. That's usually something that people are really excited to see and experience. So yeah, we stop at hot springs on our trips. This one is taken from Sunflower Hot Springs. Really nice spot. You can see there's like 5 or 6 pools at this one, and this is just one pool. So nice big hot spring. It can sit a big group, and it's usually a highlight of the trip for people. So yeah, we can go to the next slide. Here's some more hot spring shots. This picture on the right is of the same location at Sunflower Hot Springs. So all those pools kind of drain off over this waterfall feature, and you can stand underneath the waterfall and kind of get a hot shower while you're out there. So that's always nice.
Nice.
And then picture on the bottom left, that's from a different hot springs. That's Loon Creek Hot Spring, which is a really cool spot, and it's nice too because it's about a mile hike from the river, and we hike up one of the tributaries of the Middle Fork. So that's really nice, and it's a pretty easy hike. It's a little bit longer, but Loon Creek is in view the whole time. It's a really pretty tributary with really nice clear water. And then yeah, at the end you get a soak in a really nice hot spring. So
Awesome.
yeah, that's usually another big favorite stop for people.
Mm-hmm. Are there how many hot springs are there, and do we stop at all of them?
There's 4 popular hot springs along the river. On most trips we don't stop at all of them, but I try to, especially if people are really excited about it, I'll make it more of a priority to stop at more. But if there's less interest, then we're gonna stop at least one because people should get to see it. But
Yes.
sometimes one is enough for people, but sometimes people want to hit all of them. So
just depends on the trip.
exactly. Great. So another one of the cool things about the Middle Fork is that it has a lot of indigenous people history there. So there's a lot of really cool archaeological sites. This one is a pictograph. Looks like this location is at Cameron Creek. And there are a ton of sites like this to stop at along the Fork. So this is also one where, we're definitely going to stop at one. And if people are really excited about it and they want to learn more and they want to see more, then we can almost stop at one every day. So yeah. Aside from that, there's also just a lot of really great hiking on the Middle Fork. The hiking's really endless, and it ranges from sort of the classic hikes up to like really pretty waterfalls that a lot of people stop and do, to like a adventure hiking off trail. It's really up to the people what kind of stuff they want to do. There's a lot of great waterfalls to hike to. There's a lot of really cool points and that give you a nice view of the river. Yeah, so
this looks like an arch almost.
Yeah, so this picture is taken from Vail Falls. This is a really popular hike that probably most trips stop at. It's a shorter hike, but it's pretty steep, so it can be a challenge, but it's really an amazing view from the top. This big amphitheater feature on a hot summer day has really, really nice shade, and all the rocks on the inside are like really cool. Like cool as in like temperature, they're cold. So it's really nice on a hot day to stop there, and then you do a steep hike and you get all hot and sweaty, and then you get into this really shady, beautiful amphitheater, and there's a little waterfall running off the top of it. So yeah, and this is one of my favorite places to stop at on the trips, and it's just a really nice place where you kind of hike up to it, and everyone just kind of sits in silence and enjoys the beauty of the place. And then these are just some various shots taken from just sort of random hikes along the river. Like I said, there's plenty of waterfalls to hike up to, lots of nice overlooks, and really it's, as far as the hiking goes, it's like I said, it's endless. If you feel like you want to hike a lot, you could do a super long hike from camp every evening if you wanted.
Are there a lot of flowers throughout the whole season, or are they more dependent in the spring?
I would say the spring certainly has, the highest volume and diversity of flowers, but there's always something blooming throughout the summer. So, yeah, there's always something pretty to look at. Okay, so let's talk about some of the different rafts that we take. So this shot shows a picture of the oar boat. So these boats, they take gear as well as people. And in these rafts, the clients, they sit in the front of the boat on a really comfortable bench seat. So this is sort of your relaxing boat where you can hang out, take pictures, read a book, take a nap even. It's a really nice, relaxing way to get downstream. And the guide sits in the middle, like you can see, and is doing all the work to maneuver the boat. So yeah. And then we always have a paddle raft on our trips, shown by this picture on the right. So in this boat, everybody has a paddle, so everybody is involved in maneuvering the boat and getting downstream. The guide sits in the back of the raft and is shouting out commands, and everyone's kind of listening to what the guide's saying, and you're all working together to navigate the rapids and get downstream. And then we also bring inflatable kayaks on our trip. And the kayaks are always a huge hit. People love the kayaks. And the kayaks are great too because the Middle Fork has a lot of really great whitewater. And people who are looking for some excitement can take the kayaks through the rapids and stuff. But there's also a lot of miles that are pretty calm, and the whitewater isn't too hard. So people can get both, or you can get whatever you want out of the kayaks, and people always seem to really enjoy them. So.
We get a lot of comments from guests about their time in the ducky.
Yep. Yeah. Another name for the inflatable kayaks is the ducky. So yeah, they're really fun. People always love them. And yeah, always a big hit of the trip. Great.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Bridger. That was amazing. Yep. I'm sure we'll have more questions for you as we move along. Tyler, could you tell us just a little bit about what the groups are normally like? I know we can take up to 22, but we can also do other things.
Yeah, so I think something that some people are a little worried about when booking a trip like this is, we can bring up to 22 people, which seems like a lot, but in my experience, and I've done a lot of Middle Fork trips and a lot of river trips around the West, and these bigger trips are always so fun, and everyone's kind of shows up with these expectations of what it's going to be like, and a little nervous, a little timid, and by the end of the trip, everyone is best friends, and they're crying because they're having to leave all their good friends that they just went on this long wilderness trip with. And so I think that's something that I've seen people be a little timid about, but then also like throughout the trip, it's just that worry dissolves and everybody just gets along and and kind of comes together as a team and becomes kind of one family out there, which is really special. These
So
trips though are
basically,
super. Oh, go
oh,
ahead, Christy.
oh, I'm sorry. I just had a quick question. So if I'm traveling by myself, I shouldn't feel nervous about joining a big group.
I would say no.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
everyone just tends to get along. Everyone kind of books this trip for the same reason. They want to kind of disconnect from their job and their devices and
Mm,
get out and spend time in the wilderness.
mm,
And that in turn kind of creates this space where people can connect on a deeper level, which is really special.
mhm.
Um, these trips are also just really great for family groups, friend groups, any kind of corporate getaways, bachelor parties, like whatever your group is, we can accommodate it.
We could
And
do it.
you know, it's especially those later dates in August, amazing trip for a family to get out there. It's just this place where you can really connect with your people and take time away from all the distractions of everyday life. And that's something I've seen a lot of people come off the river. And I had a comment once where someone was like, this is the first time that I've been able to connect with my kids in years.
Yeah,
And so it's a really
really
special
special.
place to be able to do that for sure.
So we could bring
Um,
grandma and grandpa all the way down to nieces and nephews who are 7 years
yeah,
and older.
yeah, yeah. I think sevens are cut off for on the lower end, and I don't know if we have a cutoff for the upper end.
No upper end.
Self-selected. If you think you can go, you can probably go.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Mhm. So we offer private trips as well, customs.
private trips, custom trips, kind of whatever you want, we can make happen. We are limited by the dates that we have due to our permit stipulations, and it's pretty much the same dates every year. But if you have questions, reach out to the sales team, and they can, you know, we can figure something out that can work for your group. And especially if you're looking for a private trip, reach out now for 2027 because
Yeah.
I don't know if we have anything left in 2026 that we can make private. So
Yeah. Dates will be up soon.
yeah.
All right. Now to the
Oh
amazing guides that we
man,
have.
this is a thing that I
Mhm.
think really sets us apart. We got this amazing group of guides here that they're just they're all unique and special and beautiful humans. All our guides are trained in wilderness medicine, so they all have wilderness first responder certification. They all have swiftwater rescue certifications. But on top of that, they're also just incredibly talented in all other ways. They're musicians and they're amazing chefs, but they also do your dishes and they're empathetic and compassionate and great listeners and great communicators.
A little
And
kooky.
they love to throw a good fiesta party out there. But yeah, they're just all these folks have my heart and
Yeah.
I love them.
Yeah. I think we all love them. Especially we hear a lot of that from our guests too at
Yeah.
the end. So
Yeah, I think
very, very.
that's always like some of the guests like biggest praises to the guides and
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
100% back that up.
Yeah. Yep. Definitely. Well, speaking of praise, that is one thing that we do hear a lot of after the trips. Everyone is just, raving about the time that they had and the guides and the experience in the wilderness and getting away. And Bridger, usually, what, the last night of the trip, do you just kind of get together and talk about how everything went and
Yeah. So the last night of the river is always special. We always make it a point to kind of gather as a big group, usually around dinner, and everyone just kind of shares their their highlights of the trip, their favorite experiences, yeah, things like that. And it's always cool for the guides to hear that. People are usually say really really positive, really touching things, and are yeah, people love the experience, and it's always really fun to hear that. It's a
always
special
always
moment
fun.
for the guides.
Yeah, very special. I know we even hear it when guests are booking their next trip, how special it was. So, and can Bridger guide me next time, right?
Yeah.
So,
Be there.
you'll be there. Awesome. Well, this has been amazing. I think that at this point in time, we would like to open it up to any questions that we might have for either Tyler or Bridger. One thing, I guess, a little housekeeping. We do have, if you're interested after, which I'm sure everybody is, in joining our amazing trip, all you have to do is either go online to one of our trip pages and or give your friendly trip consultant a call, and we can get you signed up. We do have some space left for 2026, but like Tyler mentioned earlier, we'll be booking for 27 very shortly. So let's see. Let me see if we have any questions for anyone. Oh, we have one for Tyler. Tyler, am I able to have a shower while I'm on the river?
Oh, yeah, so there's options for showers out there. We do have some solar showers.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is a thing that a lot of people go into the trip kind of stressing about because they're used to showering every day. But in my experience, and maybe Bridger can touch on this as well a little bit, but once people get out there and they realize they're kind of swimming every day and they crystal clear water and going to hot springs, and most people are kind of like, well, I don't really need a shower. I just go jump in the river every day. But there are options. I would not expect a shower every night, but your guides can accommodate a shower for you if you're just dying to get some warm water on you and clean up a little bit. So it can be accommodated, but it's not a thing that's just every night we have showers for everyone, because it's a lot of people to provide to. So
awesome. Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Oh, we have one for Bridger. What should I wear as far as footwear? What should I bring with me?
For most of our trips, what I bring is a pair of sandals, like nice sturdy sandals. Like Chaco is a great example. Mm-hmm. I like something like that that can really secure your foot, but is still a sandal, and those are nice for getting in and out of the water and being on the rafts and stuff. And then I also bring a pair of shoes that is suitable for hiking, and I usually try to bring something that's sturdy enough to do most types of hikes, but also comfortable enough that I can like change into for camp and like kind of just hang out in as well. So yeah, so most people I think are just fine with those kind of 2 footwear options.
Yeah, awesome.
And then we do also have a boot bag that we'll bring out there, and so you don't have to have your hiking shoes in your bag with you.
Yeah. So the shoes, they take up a lot of space, and you have a limited amount of space in the bag that we provide. So and also so you don't have to put your dirty shoes in with all your clean clothes.
That's a good thing.
Big shoe bag. So
awesome. That kind of actually leads into the next question that we have is what do I do if I'm traveling from somewhere else and I have my bag and all of it won't fit into what I need to take on the river? What can I store my bag somewhere? Or?
Yeah, Tyler, you probably have a better idea of how the luggage works.
Yeah, so once you get out on the river, we can collect your luggage, anything you want to go around to meet you at the end of the trip, and we'll secure it in our warehouse while you're out there on the trip, and then we can have your luggage meet you at the last night's hotel when you get back to Salmon.
Cool. Makes it simple.
So yeah, I think a lot of people show up with too much stuff and they're like, oh no. I don't
What do
actually
I
need
do?
this much stuff. Can I send this bag around? And so, yeah, that's super easily accommodatable.
Cool. All right. One other question we have is if I want to share my hotel room with somebody, but then when I go on the river, do I have to share a tent or can I have my own? What is our tent setup like? Tyler or Bridger?
Yeah, we can certainly accommodate that. We just need to know that before the trip.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's easily easily can make that happen.
Okay. So basically just let your adventure travel coordinator know your preference and we'll make it happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. That sounds good. It looks like we have two more questions. The first one is there a way or can you give me an example of how I might customize my trip?
Yeah, so I think in my mind, this is kind of coming to like the dates are pretty set, but say you want to have a group of people that wants to meet you halfway. Like we can help accommodate those logistics and get people in to say Thomas Creek and they want to do only the last part of the trip. Um, or if you have requests for, if you have a full kosher group of people that want to do a kosher trip, like we can accommodate something like that. You want to you have a friend with a band that you want them to play music every night, like something like that. The dates are very set, although there are potential options to get other dates, but it's kind of challenging and not guaranteed. But you can always reach out about that stuff and we can see what we can do and try and get those. But yeah. So
And
kind of stuff
basically,
like
if
that.
you want to hike more or fish more, or we can definitely do that on the river. So, all right. Okay, let's see. Looks like we do have one more, and it's kind of in regards again to the difference between the 75 and the 100-mile trip that we see online. I think Tyler, you covered that a little bit earlier, but would you like to just reiterate what we talked about earlier, the differences?
Yeah, so basically the main difference between the two trips is just the time of year and the water levels. And so the 100-mile trip is great because it accommodates there's enough water to float from the top and it be a good experience for everyone. And once we kind of move towards that 75-mile date, the water starts to drop and that top 25 just becomes not very fun for people or the guides, but the guides get paid to do it, so they have to. So the guides suffer and get the boats down there, and then they meet you at the where you guys put in at Indian Creek, and that's kind of the main difference between the two trips. Other than that, it's still 6 days on the water, and as the water drops too, it gets a little slower. Like some of the rapids are still fun and a great time, but there's some more like slower water in between. And so the river slows down a little bit, so that allows us more time just in the day to get down to camp, actually get out of our wet stuff and enjoy some sunshine and that kind of stuff. So,
Cool.
yeah.
All right, we just had one fishing question pop in. So it is asking, fly fishing allowed with spinning tackle using a bubble and a lead?
Yes, I see that. Looks like that came in from Jeff. Yeah, we can definitely accommodate that. The fishing gear that MT Sobek has, we don't have any spinning gear. It's all fly fishing gear. So if you have your own and you want to bring it, that's totally fine. You just got to make sure you get a fishing license. And yeah, we can definitely accommodate that. You can also use just regular spinning tackle, but it has to be single hook barbless. So if you have treble hooks, you got to trim the other hooks off, pinch the barb on those. And that's totally allowed too, but no live bait. It's flies or lures only. So yeah, totally accommodated. We can totally accommodate that. And yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, I think that, yep, I think that appears to be the end of our questions today. So I would like to thank our experts, both Tyler and Bridger. Um, we've really enjoyed learning more about the Middle Fork from both of you, and your expertise and your passion. It definitely shines through. So thank you very much. And thank you to everybody who joined us today. We're looking forward to welcoming you to the Middle Fork of the Salmon, hopefully this summer. If not, we'll see you on the river very soon. Thank you very much. Have a nice
Thanks,
day,
everyone.
everybody. Bye.